Prince and Monsieur Love all hide me in the arbor.
Come, shall we hear this music?
So this play actually has sort of a couple different plots going on. The first one is there's these two people, a gentleman and a lady, who they are always at each other's throats in terms of a battle of wits. They're trying to be one-up each other in cleverness, insult each other as best they can. And their friends have this great idea, hey, why don't we hook them up? Why don't we turn them into a relationship? So they fool the two people into falling in love. The other half of the plot is there's a very love at first sight, typical Shakespeare, boy and girl fall in love, but the prince has a jealous sister, and she wants to ruin his friend's life as much as possible, the boy that's going to fall in love with the girl. She wants to ruin his life, and so she creates a plot, I don't want to ruin too much, but creates a little plot that ruins the wedding, and there's a big, tragic wedding scene where everything just goes up in the air and everything's terrible and awful, but seeing as it's a Shakespearean comedy, you know things will write itself out in the end. Much Ado About Nothing is my favorite Shakespeare play, period. So if you had me directing a Shakespeare show as I am now, I would always choose this one. I think there is so much in this show that is, this is going to sound, cliche, but relevant today. And it's not just in terms of the plots and what happens, but also in terms of the comedy, which is why I'm setting it in the 90s. Because I think the idea of having two friends that are always at each other's throats and setting them up and hooking them up and having this, sort of funny idea as a group of friends to set them up together is a plot that you would see in any sitcom. So that, among with a lot of other things that are in the show, I think it's going to reach people in a way they don't think Shakespeare does. You see the word Shakespeare and you're like, oh, flowery language, I'm not going to understand it. 400-year-old plots, I don't care. I think people are going to leave this play, see this play, and leave surprised, thinking, wow, it's almost as if I just saw a comedy show on stage, a sitcom on stage, with the odd word here and there that we don't really use today anymore. But I think people are going to be very surprised with how easily it is to be understood.
Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her.